Hi, my name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Today is Monday, November the 20th. It's a few days before Thanksgiving. And I just got a call from the Office of the Attorney General. And it was very unexpected, very surprising, but very good at the same time. Andrew Leone, he is an Associate Deputy for Attorney General Ken Paxton in the state of Texas, left a message on my phone. I didn't hear it ring, but I did hear the message, and he was requesting a meeting with me and many other people regarding the issue of child support in the state of Texas. When I went to the GOP breakfast several weeks ago, put a video online about the Attorney General was willing to meet with people and to contact Michelle Smith. Michelle Smith has given Andrew Leone my phone number and my email address, and Andrew Leone called me and said he would like to meet with people. Now, the interesting thing is that child support is not even an issue that I have to face, but I know many people who have been broken, people who have been completely devastated by the amount of child support that they're paying, and at the same time often having their children withheld from them. I've mentioned my friend Michael Dry, who when he was going to get his driver's license renewed was arrested because somehow as he was transitioning job, his child support was no longer automatically taken out of his check for a couple of periods. And in Texas, if you are behind in child support, you can be arrested and thrown in jail. So as he was getting his driver's license renewed with his two girls and his stepson and his wife, he was arrested because he had missed a couple of payments. Now, at the same time, his ex-wife, who's been married several times since then, has falsely accused him and a couple of the other ex-husbands of sexual abuse of Michael's daughter, which never happened. And of course, because she mentions it and gets to lie about it, she just mentions it, she basically gets to use it as a restraining order against Michael. This charge has been investigated repeatedly. It's been proven to be false, but every time he has to face it again and again and again. But it's not just Michael Dry. There was another friend of mine who was going to be a missionary with New Tribes Mission, youth minister or a missionary. And he went through the same issue in which he got divorced. And of course, you know, he gets the gift of child support. Good man, and yet he's broke. He's got no money in his account. He doesn't know how he's going to make it. And yet he also fears that he's going to be arrested by the Attorney General's office. Another person in Dallas that I just spoke with, people all over the place, people that have spent thousands and thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're not meeting the burden imposed upon them by the state of Texas. And in some instances, they are having their auto registration denied to them. They are having their driver's license not being renewed, or in some instances even being thrown in jail. So the whole issue of child support evidently has come to the attention of the Attorney General. And it's because people in Texas, people like some of the ones who are listening right now, have called up Michelle Smith, have called Michelle Smith and said, we want to talk with the Attorney General about the child support issue. And the Attorney General is now going to be doing so. The Attorney General, Ken Paxton, is a good man. I voted for him. I know him. I've had my pictures taken with him. I supported him on more than one occasion. I just don't think he understands how destructive the practice of child support collection is to families and to children, and how it's so one-sided in which people have to pay their support, but when they want to see their children, they often get visitation denied by a custodial spouse. The other bad thing is that some of these people were not people that wanted to get the divorce. They wanted to save the marriage. But in the state of Texas, the person who files first tends to win and tends to put the respondent at a disadvantage. And when I say tends to win, let's forget about the tends part. The person who files first, who files as the plaintiff in a divorce, wins 100% of the time, because the respondent will never, ever win due to what's called no-fault divorce, or unilateral divorce, or divorce for any reason or no reason whatsoever. However, as a consolation prize to the respondent who will lose, he or she gets to pay child support, because often he or she loses primary custodial access to the children, or is no longer has joint custodial access. He or she is losing a daily life with his or her children, and yet gets this child support imposed upon him or her at the same time. Often it is onerous to them. They can't make the payments, and yet that is no excuse. In a normal marriage, if somebody were to lose their job, you just tighten your belt. You both work harder to make ends meet. You cut back discretionary spending. If you have child support, you get none of those benefits. What you can do is file for a modification, which can be put off for weeks and months and even a year or longer by the shenanigans of your ex-spouse's attorney. That's actually what happens. And by the way, as you are late and can't pay, you have arrearages, and your arrearages have interest, and once you hit a certain level, you can be thrown into jail. And that's just the way that it works in the state of Texas. The policies that have created this, that we think are so great for children, are actually destroying the father-son, the mother-son, the father-daughter, and the mother-daughter relationship. It's causing families to be destroyed. For those that have a second family, it's causing destruction in the second family, because the person who has to pay child support no longer has the money to actually support a second family. The whole thing is just fraught with problems. But the Attorney General Ken Paxton is looking to meet with people in this position the first week of December. Now, as I talked with Andrew Leone, I asked him in particular, I said, what about people who might have a warrant out for their arrest because of child support that they owe? And now, he first recommended that such people do not come to the meeting because they could be subject to arrest. At which point I said, so in other words, the people that you need to hear from the most are being silenced. He did not like to put it in that term, but that's exactly what was taking place. So he is trying to achieve a safe harbor passage for them. In addition, I mentioned that individuals sometimes don't even know they have a warrant for their arrest. For example, as my friend Michael Dry found out, he went to get his driver's license renewed and he was arrested. He had no clue that he had a warrant. So I'd mentioned as well that you have individuals that they're afraid that because of the way that the state of Texas and the Attorney General's office handles things. So their concern was that if I go down there, will they get my name? Will they come after me? Will they use this? How can I trust the Attorney General's office in the state of Texas to allow me to go down there without using this information against me? Is this some type of a roundup? And if you're in the position where you owe this money, you would understand the fears that they have. Again, Andrew Leone is seeking to have a safe harbor for individuals that are in this position. It's not guaranteed yet, but I'm hoping that it will work toward that end, because the only way you're going to find out how bad the problem is to find out directly, firsthand, from the people who are going through it. I asked him if there would be any video recordings done. At this point, he said no, he would like to have a full and frank conversation, and he's requesting anybody who attends likewise to not record the meeting. I would say that anybody who goes there, though, take notes like crazy, and we'll go from there. So anyway, I think this is good news for Texas. The child support issue has been a major problem. As Attorney General Ken Paxton has said, that the state of Texas makes a lot of money. They're very good at collecting child support, and they make a lot of money in federal incentives to collect the support. I don't think he's realized the human casualties, the human damage, the damage to children and to families that have been caused by this. But he appears to be willing to look into it, and possibly, who knows, maybe he will make recommendations. He can't change laws by himself, but the legislator should be able to see this as well. So my recommendation again is, if you want to be in this meeting, first off, contact me. You can contact me via Facebook. There are other people that I will tag in this video. You can feel free to contact them. Plan to be in Austin, Texas with your story. And what I would also say is, don't go in there fighting mad. You can't. This stuff is going on, but you need to be heard. And it's so easy if you go in with a angry, bitter voice, or you're demanding something, you know, you could shut down the meeting. Tell your story. All you have to do is tell your story, because people can hear, as you're telling the story, the heartbreak that's caused, the damage that has been caused. And if they are not sensitive enough to realize that, they probably need to be voted out of office. But get in there, tell your story, and and we'll see what happens. It's a good first step. So I hope that you can be down there. You are the ones who made the calls. You are the ones who contacted Michelle Smith. Now follow through with it. Follow through with it. I think you should be down there and testifying, and possibly if there's some people in the media who are going through the same situation, maybe you would like to come down and take notes and give a report on it when you get back. It is going to be a full and frank conversation, and a little sunshine does not hurt. Sunlight creates transparency, and some of these things can't be done under darkness any longer. Maybe even have a representative come down with you. I don't know what's going to be happening here, but my suggestions, and I think it's good news that something like this is finally happening. Thank you.